Most people hate interviews, including hiring managers. We loathe them.
Oh, I got a good answer for this one.
It's just horrible. I feel like
They may have done their written assignment perfectly, but the interview sort of becomes a make or break experience.
The role I'm in now, I definitely interviewed for 3 times till I was successful. As a queer woman of colour with a variety of neurodiverse eccentricities, an interview or even an interview like this is often for me horrifying.
I was sweating, I was not talking very good English. They can see that I was nervous and they didn't do anything to help me. If you're seeing a person who is like very nervous, like is really struggling, I feel you should do something to help them.
So it's important how you make them feel as well in that entire interview process.
I think people forget as a hiring panel that you are not the only one assessing the candidate, the candidate is also assessing you.
Actually, the candidates at the same time looking at the organisation that they may decide to choose or not to choose to work for.
And if you keep that at centre of mind, it changes the whole candidate experience and the way you process or go through that.
I think having the questions ahead of time is incredibly important.
If you're hiring someone who needs to provide thoughtful, reflective advice, don't test their ability to wing it by giving them the questions on the spot or 10 minutes beforehand.
What are you seeking to assess is very important when you're designing those assessments.
In my normal work, people would have this a week ahead. I'm going to give people a week to do it.
And the assessment activities should be fit for purpose, and they should be aligned to the role and the focused capabilities of the role. And talent acquisition are best placed to support you to create the assessment materials that will give you that outcome.
Once you understand what your options are, then you can play around with that to find out what it is that will provide you with the most valid and reliable evidence of on-the-job performance. And you should end up with many, many more candidates who are able to demonstrate exactly what it is that they can do.
I wanted to make sure, as a hiring manager, no candidate would walk into the room and feel uncomfortable, unsafe, unwelcome.
The body language from the panel members.
You know, just asking them, is the light okay?
Them smiling.
Are you speaking at the right level?
Nodding and showing me that they were genuinely interested in what I had to say.
This is not an interview question, this is just a question to understand who you are. Tell us about yourself.
We want to learn more about you.
Get to know them.
It was such a welcoming question.
I want them to walk away from that interview feeling nourished, feeling respected.
I could then feel like I was in control of how I was presenting myself.
But are empowered by that experience.
I actually do these things now, like very actively. Oh, sorry.
If I'm under high pressure and stress, I'm going to revert back to a language that isn't English.
Like everything that I'm saying at this moment, it has another layer because like I'm kind of like translated it in my brain, like, you know, like maybe like in less than a second. You have to show all your skills, but you're doing it in another language. Every single day gets more comfortable for me, but at the beginning I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this.
In one of my most recent interviews, which it's never across the table, it's always a yarning circle.
More recently, thanks to a presentation from the diversity inclusion team, something that really interested me was they were talking about different and more inclusive recruitment styles, including yarning circles.
And it is in recognition of the fact that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have been using yarning circles to share information, communicate with each other, build connection with each other, to demonstrate reciprocity and respect for thousands and thousands of years. They are a proven science.
I walk in and it's not a typical interview room. I guess they're sitting on like beanbag type seats, I guess.
Making sure we're not interrogating the person, but more or less sitting in a round circle, chit-chatting.
Relaxed, and you're just having a yarn.
And it means that you have a much more free-flowing exchange of ideas and information while still ensuring that you're assessing people against the capabilities. Now, this is a new experience for many of us, and I would recommend reaching out to the Aboriginal employment team at DCJ to learn how to do it. They will walk with you and teach you this new way of interviewing people, and I can almost certainly promise you, you'll never go back to the conventional model of 3 people behind a desk grilling the poor soul on the other side, because you will get much better evidence of that person's skill through this alternative approach.
Something else I noticed is women of colour, people who are neurodiverse, are often very hesitant to sell themselves.
You kind of second guess your capabilities.
I doubted whether I was able to show my expertise.
I feel like this is such a good opportunity for managers to make a difference, like from the very beginning. Like if you can bring like the best of the candidate and like making them feel comfortable, at ease, you can just find some extraordinary like talent around that. Just give us a chance to to bring it to you. That's what I would say.